This is like a very controversial product because of the poor shade range. Hey beautiful, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Jensine, aka Jungle Naps. I'm so glad to have you back here. Now I wanted to do a more in-depth video on the Beauty Blender foundation release that's coming out July 24th. I did touch on it on my previous video in my Lustworthy Makeup Products series, but I feel like this topic is it's so controversial. It really needs its own video explaining it, going into the details. With that being said, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe if you're brand new here. Okay, so if you've never heard of this new foundation that's coming out, I'm just gonna take it back for you guys and give you a little bit of context. Now, if you've never heard of the Trend Mood 1 Instagram account, it's basically an account on Instagram that talks about new makeup releases, and you know, the woman who runs this account, Sophia, she has a very strong knit community of makeup lovers. Now, when she did post the actual shade range of the Beauty Blender foundation that's coming out, I believe it's called the Bounce, the like liquid whip. It's supposed to be a long wearing formula. People basically saw, you know, hey, there's 32 shades, and why are there like 25 shades of beige? And when you look at the shade range for, you know, the deeper, darker skin tones, it's very jumpy. There isn't a smooth gradient, and there are some very questionable undertones. So that's why this is a controversial release, because this foundation is priced at $40. It's going to be marketed in Sephora. That means that you're going to have a wide array of customers of all different types of skin tones. So to me, it would make sense if I were a brand, I would want to market to as many people as possible. I would want to do effective marketing research, make sure I had some of the best makeup artists to really help me find the proper undertones so that I could sell my product appropriately. Now, the craziest thing about this is after that photo was posted of the shade range, Beauty Blender basically responded to someone's comment and said, oh, you know, like that's just a really weird photo. It has a wacky filter that Trend Mood put on it, and it really doesn't represent our shade range. And I was just thinking about this, and I'm like, what kind of response is that for a brand? I don't think that any filter that Trend Mood could put on there would exaggerate it so much. It's very plain and simple. You know, it would have been so much better if they would have said, sorry, look, like we messed up. We're going to go back in the lab. We're going to reformulate. We're going to come out with more shades, more undertones in the future, we promise. I think we could all agree that that would have been the proper response. However, when you go ahead and you say, oh, this is just a wacky filter, I mean, you're really losing a lot of loyalty from your customers and losing any prospective customers that are interested in your products. So anyway, with that being said, I do want to let you guys know, I want to show you some pictures. I've got some pictures of some of the shades that different influencers have swatched because the PR kit is going out and about. And to be honest, I've seen the PR kit on social media, and it's very obvious that there are only 7 shades. You know, I mean, it's questionable. There are some big gaps in between, but you know, we're just gonna have to see. I know Jackie Aina is coming out with a video on this foundation because she is especially deeper skin tone. I'm very interested to see what she comes out with. Now, another interesting thing, Beauty Blender definitely tried it, because ever since this whole scandal has been coming out and people are very, very upset about the shade range, they have the nerve to go on their Instagram and they're posting, you know, women of color, various shade ranges, putting this foundation on. And it just makes me so upset because I feel like with their foundation shade range, they are specifically telling us women of color, you know, oh, hey, you're kind of an afterthought. You can buy this if you want, but we didn't spend enough coins doing the research to find the proper shade range for you or the proper undertone for you. With one picture, they managed to say that. However, when you go on their page, they're trying to say, oh, no, we want your coins. Look, other women of color can use this as well. And they're saying it looks amazing on them and it's the perfect match. No. These days, most people are very informed when it comes to makeup in terms of making the right purchases, okay? And anybody with half of a brain can see what they're doing. Now, if you guys are interested, you can definitely check out the Beauty Blender Instagram if you want to see those little makeup tutorials of those women of color that they have on there using it. Now, I'm not saying this is an unusable foundation. I'm just saying I don't like the inconsistencies in the way that they're marketing. First, with their shade range, they're telling us point blank, we didn't really care enough to do enough research to come out with a, wide enough range of foundations for you guys. It was an afterthought, but also we're promoting it using people of your skin tone on our social media. I don't feel like that's right. It doesn't sit with me. And as a consumer, I don't want to spend my coins to make your company richer because of that. I am a huge, huge, huge believer that as a consumer, you should put your money where your mouth is. If you feel like a company isn't being inclusive enough, it speaks volumes not to spend your money on their products. And this isn't really about whether you're a woman of color or a person of color or not. Even if you are someone that isn't a person of color, it's so important to use your voice to be an advocate for inclusivity. Believe me, it speaks volumes. So with that being said, I would love to know some of your guys' opinions about this shade range release. Will you buy it? Will you not buy it? What do you think about this? Will you continue to buy Beauty Blender products? Let me know down in the comments. If you haven't seen my last Lustworthy Makeup Products video where I talk about this foundation release and other new makeup products, definitely check it out right next to me. As always, you guys know I love you. Thank you for sitting down, chilling with me, hanging out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!